Why'd I eat that thing to help? Chad, it's hard to pull back because we've tightened it so hard, but the reason why we have tightened it so hard is that we want it to stay a little bit back always, but she still slides forward if you, like, yeah, 45 they said. I think I could do with 14 socks, I think. Or 42.45. Well, 40-45 is what this is. I think I could do with 35 to 40. I know I need 45 in forms of shoes because my toe is like there, and that's all the way back. So here's the tip of my toe, my big toe. So it's not that much clearance. So I need 45 in shoes, but for socks, since they stretch so much like this, then 45 is going to be fine enough for that. So now the big question is, because if you get a classic drum set or acoustic drum set, it needs to stand back here. There's no other way, and I need to make a shield behind here because of the glass. So that we need to do. I mean, if you sit here, it's gonna take up a lot of space. The kick drum is gonna come out until there, and then you have two floor toms, two high toms, you have your snare there, then you have your hi-hat there, ride crash, and then eventual China cymbal or whatever else, extra cymbal. Maybe a ride crash combo. That's gonna be, now that's where stage volume is gonna become a problem, because since it's all packed together for the drums, the overhead mics, because I don't have enough channel, need to be up in the air above the ride and the crash, because I have a close-up on the hi-hat because obvious reasons. It's a hi-hat, but so then stage noise is going to be a big thing. So with running everything to the PA, there's going to be a big concept about how much power we can run out into the guitar cabs, and obviously with that one not being able to pull from the direct, if we then have a cab and we're pulling sound through the cab, we'll have to most likely mic the cab, which would be a better option if you want the actual cab sound, but yeah. So that one is going to go down on a 2x10 cab, and then I'm probably going to get a 2x10. I think they sell 2x10 cab in S Marshall and a Marshall amp. The plan is to use a Ampeg or Aguilar stack. Most likely Aguilar stack, since most of what I do, I would say, is more fitted towards an Aguilar stack, because I use Aguilar stacks more for more rocky high-end stuff, like some certain Vocaloid console certs. I have heard bass guitar clean, or not clean, but directly from the amp without the rest of the band, and they sound pretty good. Of course, I'm not saying Ampeg is bad for that. I'm a fanboy of both Ampeg and Aguilar. Somebody might say that's a bad thing, because Aguilar and Ampeg is, technically speaking, enemies in the market. But well, every bass guitar amp is, technically speaking, an enemy towards other amps, or as if it's not, of course, for making a cheaper version. If it is for making a cheaper version, then it doesn't matter. Like this red sub amp head, 120 watt amp head, it's 5 watts of PCBs and control, and it's 120 watts of clean pure amplification. This thing was like, what, 120, 130 bucks? So yeah. And then the cab is also 130, 140 bucks. So that's gonna probably be next month. One thing I also gotta think about next month is a microwave and probably more lights. Like, I need to figure out something about my light situation. What I want to do is buy like a... What I, technically speaking, want to do is to run a Grande MA node and run everything to Grande MA on PC. I could get, I think, if I remember, because I know Grande MA2 NPU unlocks parameters in on PC Grande MA2, and MA3D, except for a Whiskey, is not really. And anywho, with the Whiskey you can't output, so most likely if I can find a cheap Grand MA1 NPU, because I know he talked about that it unlocks, like, I think it was 2048 parameters in Grand MA2. I don't know if that goes for Grand MA2 on PC, but if it does, then I'll have about 2048 parameters, and out of those parameters for inside of here, I'll probably just be using like 200 max, maybe, if you count tilting, panning, RGBV, because most of the, I'm gonna have some par cams that's just RGB, some Cameo 3 par cams that I've used before. They're just IC in, IC out, XLR in, XLR out. And then I'm gonna have some probably a little more advanced ones, which are PowerCon through, and the actual DMX 5-pin. Now I'm a little unsure about the Grande MA1 NPU, because I think the Grande MA1 NPU only had XLR outs and not like DMX 5-pin out. Since you can't deliver DMX over XLR for 5-pin fixtures, for 3 DMX footprint fixtures like a Cameo 3 par cam, which is RGB done. But for other lamps where you have RGB white and then tilt and pan, that's gonna require you 5, and there's even more advanced fixtures which requires more functions, where you would have to send more than one signal down like one pin. I mean, heck, there's even lights that are controlled directly via ArtNet without DMX, like some LED bars, yeah, LED bars, but technically speaking, they're LED bars, but they're more used for pixel mapping. I mean, you can run them straight too, but running pixel mapping through them seems pretty nice. And well, if when I start getting like the lights set up in here for in forms of that kind of lighting, it will probably be, you know, probably 4 LED spots, and then there will be probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 wash bars. Then probably maybe 4 moving heads. And then some flat bars that are probably going to point up into the amps. And up the corners of the walls. I mean, heck, I can even put a... I can even actually in the red sum amplifier, for example, I can take a Cameo 3 can. I can take off the bracket, lay it flat inside of there. And then I can have a... RGB bass guitar amp. Controlled by DMX. Fucking glorious. So yeah. Are you still recording, question mark? Yes, you are. So yeah, that's like the standpoint at the moment. And then there is Ethernet going down there in case like guitar FX racks for software updates, and if people have laptops with them they can plug right in there. So I'll just be putting boxes on the wall. Plan was maybe to put a table there, but clearly with me getting guitar amplifiers in the house, that's obviously not gonna happen. I mean, you guys already know, and I also know that I need a bigger apartment. I need like 70-80 square meters alone, and that's not counting my girlfriend moving in. Because when she moves in, there's going to be a table here, which is going to go out till here, which means I'll be limited here, which means I'll only have from here and until the amps to go on for drum set. And then the big question is, where the fuck are we putting the keyboardist? So yeah, probably gonna have to just be drums in the back, then keyboardist pretty much in front of the drummer, and then guitar on the right, probably bass on the left, and then main vocals in the front. And there again, here comes also the question with stage volume, and as for how we're gonna do it, obviously, as you can hear, I need acoustic panels here. I also need bass traps in the corner of the walls, because in the corners of the wall, when you turn up the volume, it gets really boomy in this corner, in that corner. It gets real boomy in that corner. In that corner, there's not so much because it escapes into the kitchen and then it disperses into the soft wooden panels on the wall there. And those kind of absorb the sound a little bit. So that corner is pretty much not a problem at all, but that corner definitely, and these two corners need bass traps. Of course, I'm not gonna take the time or use the money to properly DSP correct or whatnot this room to get properly perfect sound, but I know just from my own ear, from working with sound for a lot, we need bass trap here, and definitely in there. In the corner of the wall. A teal thing would also be to have some pegs to put the subs on top of, because the plan probably eventually for this apartment is going to be to get some brackets. You see, I've already moved them out because I'm going to try to get these standing all the way back there to kind of spread the sound, but get 2 brackets here, get the subs with the speaker on top of here, so that way they're spread out like across the whole room, and also with them being up on the wall reduces vibrations in the floor, as well as getting the subs a little higher, so you don't have that down to the floor smacks the wall and then goes straight up, which also bass traps and acoustic panels will help fix. But there you go, you got my point. And then here we have my OD glove, which actually has a battery pre-installed from EHX, so that's nice. That's not something you get in every guitar pedal, at least not the cheap one. But I wouldn't say like that OD glove is not that expensive either. It's like 62, 63 bucks. And that's not expensive. Electro Harmonics got some good shit for a cheap penny per se, or cheap penny and cheap penny. It's still a little bit way cheaper than some other brands will charge you. My plan is probably going to be to get something like a Tech 21 Sand Samp on there, a lot of EHX pedals, maybe a Boss pedal or two, and then a new tuner. I'm also going to swap out the tuner on this thing. I also have a Tech 21 pedal I want to put on here. I don't remember the name of it in the top of my head, but Victor has it. Then I want to put an MXR M87 compressor on here instead of the dual band. Some may say dual band has more benefits. Yes, you can compress it in the high end and whatnot, but an MXR will do fine for me, especially with some E-controls. And do I need to compress it more? I can do it on the board if I need to compress the higher frequencies. I'm probably gonna keep this EBS overdrive for now because it's pretty good. My plan is to maybe put a Aguilar, not a tone hammer, but the other one. Oh. Aguilar. Because I don't think it was the... Let's go into image here and let's see if I can find it. Yeah, the Aguilar Agro. Because I really like the sound out of the Aguilar Agro. So this one might replace the EBS, but that's besides this. This distortion here is probably going to be changed out with that one Tech 21 I'm talking about. Chorus, I'm stuck between if I'm going to go with a Boss or an MXR. I'll maybe go with an MXR. I'm also planning to put an MXR Octaver on here, and then a delay. In ground, the reason I need a bigger pedal board for my bass stuff, and well, I mean, it's gonna come. The plan is also to put a volume pedal, so you can see volume pedal, then a tuner, then a then you got like sound samp, overdrive, then probably compression before chorus and delay, because compression tends to fuck with delay, and chorus tends to fuck with compression a lot. So that comes after it, and then God knows, octaver, fuzz, phase changer, flanger, whatnot. So these are just, both these two were actually used in pedal board duty on my bass guitar side of things before I managed to compact it down somewhat to a single body. But I need a bigger one for both guitar and that, because, you know, fine enough, I'm learning more electric guitar because I'm more on the bass side than the electric guitar side, even though I can some basic stuff. There's going to be older people coming into the studio with around a lot of effects, and not maybe all of them want to bring their own pedal board always. So it's nice for me to have a range of effects they can just jack into, turn on what they want, adjust the settings to where they want it, and then just go. So it's, I was just like, why the fuck is the air coming out from the side? Then I realized, ew. Cause if you don't fuck with me, I won't have a party. If you're wondering what Aguilar Agro sounds like, well, I want like just a straight demo, please. No, there was one I saw before. So that's clean. You can hear it. If you stand here, it's like fine. You go here, there's a lot of bass. Pretty decent amount of bass in here. And then we have that corner. And here it's super bad, it's facing basically back here. So like here is pretty much the optimal position.